Welcome back to Day Trade Like a Pro. It is December 2nd, and I wanted to take a minute here. We're going to look at the S&P 500, and we're going to go take a look at today and see how would we trade today. And I'm not going to go through and read you everything from map, but I do want you to see here that we have a couple of different things. So I've loaded up some tick charts, and I put them on time scroll because I wanted to see. So here we go. Let me get over to here. Okay. So what we have is, this is the open right here. So if you're looking on the you know what, actually I think we had changed this on the other. So the crosshairs, let's make the crosshairs a bit bigger. We'll go like a magenta color, and we'll make these like much easier to see. Okay, so we'll look right here, and let's do that on this one real quick, just so we can for sure see what we're talking about and what we're looking at. And okay. Alright, so this is the open right here. So what I have on here is just 1,000 tick chart. And I did 1,000 tick chart because that's the holy grail, and that's the answer of how to make money as a trader, is to use 1,000 tick chart. No, I'm kidding. I did 1,000 tick chart so that we could actually just see the movement as we broke it down. And so the open actually, the open is actually, it's a little tricky on tick charts. So probably somewhere in here. Yeah, that's probably the open right there. So that's probably right here, right around here is the open. Anyway, so they moved up into here, and we get this big. So I have two different things loaded here, and let me just make sure I have the right indicator loaded over here, just so we can. Oh yeah, I didn't. So that'll be important. So what I want to look at is the prediction points. Oh yeah, this is so weird how it does this. It does. Says they're blue. Let's see if we can change the color of these. They're white. Let's see if we can make them red. Okay, there we go. And I don't think we can change. This indicator was something that has kind of been. Oh, it does change the thickness. So let's go ahead and make that 4. Okay, so what we should have then. Okay, good. So that's working. So the red ones are the KPs over on the left side, and then the blue ones are over on the. Those are going to be the CPs. And then over here, these are targets, which are basically just extensions or breaks of prediction points, and then we have a methodology for how we measure that. And I'm going to talk about how you trade those things in conjunction. And I hope to do it in not an enormous amount of time. This could be a course that we taught. We could really teach this over hours and hours. But I just want to give you a little. I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up, and just kind of have you see this. We may end up doing. Maybe we'll do a training where we'll teach this for an hour or two, and we'll just make that available for everybody. But I just want to give you a heads up. I thought today was a really good opportunity to be able to look at it. So basically, I like to look at a 5-minute chart because that really is the holy grail. No, really though, that's just the way that I can see the market the best. So normally I'll look at a tick chart like this, but this one on the left is normally a 5-minute, and then what you can't see on my other screen is I have a 10-minute chart. And that's just all that really matters, is there's a way that you can look at the market and dissect it and have it make some kind of sense to you. I don't care if you used a line chart. I just want you to be able to look at the market and have it make sense. Okay, so right here, obviously, there's if if you look at it like this, I would say you could be, if you sold here at 18, so let's just say going from the open. Obviously you could have, so that's not the open yet. So the first opportunity to trade is really right here. So off of 08, going off of the open. So you could buy right here, and then your risk would really be below this swing over here. So 08, and then your risk would be below 05 half. So that's not terrible. You could do this with like 3 points of risk, and you also obviously know you have this 06 quarter, which 06 half ends up working. But there's the disclaimer here is that I'm going to talk about different ways that you could do it. You have to understand yourself as a trader and your own personality. All right. So as long as this is holding this green line, and this is really holding, this is just a little probe below it. This is a T1, and I'm not going to explain what that means right now, because if you know, you know, and if you don't know, then you can take the course that we're about to do and you'll learn. So this is a T1 on the green line, and it's a T1 to the downside. So as long as that's holding, I'm expecting that we're going to get a pretty good bounce. So there's, wherever you buy in here, there's an opportunity to get long. Let's just call it 08, and you're long up to 18. That's 10 points. You could be done if you wanted after that. 10 points isn't too shabby for the day. If you're selling here off of 18, which isn't the wrong thing to do by any means, then you're looking for this to break the low, but you need to cover some of that, I would say, in front of here, realistically. So here you have 18, and then there's a lot of ways you could do this. And you could be short from 18 and then cover some, I mean, you know, I don't know, maybe you cover some here. That's 3 points in front of this right here. So maybe that's 3 points. Your risk is really 18 up above right, what I would consider right here. That's 20. So a couple points of risk. And then you cover some here and you look for move down. If this comes back, if you're scalping, you can do this again. This is a tick chart, so I don't have any problem with this coming down and coming back like this. On a 5-minute chart, it just is one candle, basically. So here's an opportunity. That's another 10 points. So if you just bought there, sold there, and bought there, and sold there, I mean, I wouldn't sell this. This is what I wouldn't do after it makes this move all the way down here and then comes all the way back up here. I wouldn't sell this again. I'd be looking for it to move higher, which is what I was looking for. Okay, so what have I done? Let me get back to where we were. So I think we're right in here. Here we go. No, right there. All right, that's the one thing about the time scroll. Okay, so here we go. So big explosive move up. But if you look at this, if you bought here, sold there, that's 10 points. So you sell, you're short here, cover here, that's another 10 points. Buy here and cover here, you're up 30 points. I mean, that's not too bad, is it? Okay, so then I wanted to talk about how you would treat this, because we were thinking early on in the morning, we thought this could easily make a move lower. And so if you sold here at 28, we had 28 and 30. And whichever one of these, it doesn't really matter. If you sell here, you're going to want to have your risk, you know, you can treat these differently. So let's say 28, you get this kind of probe up through it. But when you get this move here off of 30, how I would personally treat this is I would either not sell the lower one, or I would sell both of them. So I would either sell just the top one, or it's so interesting to say, but I would either sell just the top one. I'd sell both of them. Maybe if I'm a 2-lot trader, maybe I split my order and I trade one here and one here. Or I trade the lower one and I take the risk like I'm selling the top one. But I wouldn't really do that, because I'd rather get short up. I'd rather get short here and here, and then try and cover this one at break even and still be short from up here. But either way, even on this big rip up, either way, you should have gotten out of this trade at break even. You shouldn't have lost any money here. So if I'm short here, it moves down, okay, it's not working, I'm going to jump out of it. Then there's an opportunity to get short here at 34 half. Doesn't work, comes back to it, breaks above it, this only breaks to 36.75, comes back to it. You can get out of this trade at break even. You could either have gotten out at break even right here, or you could get out at break even right here. Either way, doesn't really matter how you do it. And then there's an opportunity that you can get long here for a move up to 43.50. And this is the same kind of thing here at 45.5 and 43.75. It doesn't really matter. Sell this one, sell that one, sell both of them. Who cares? The bottom line is you should have gotten break even on this trade very easily. Okay? So no big deal there at all. That's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And then what happens? Breaks above it, comes back. Look at the opportunities to buy here. So now, once this broke out, for us, for sure, once this broke out. So once this broke out over here, we're on buy side for sure this morning. And we're looking for 71.5. So I'll show you that. So there's 45.5. You're long off 45.5. This is like, depending, if you just covered right there, that's 11 points. So there's 11 points right there. And then, but you can literally short all of those, and then you didn't lose any money. And then there's an 11-point move up to there. Now, maybe not going to do it all perfectly, but what if you just did 10% of that? This, so far, we've pointed out 41 points, and you missed the entire rip up in the morning. So what if you just did 10% of that? It's 4 points. Great. I mean, if you just did one of those 4 trades, you're up 10 points. So there's that move. Even if you short here, again, you lose money on this trade. There's just no reason to lose money other than you're stubborn. I mean, look how long this thing traded around here. Why would you lose money on this? And then, let's see, over, so, kind of a bit choppy here. Oh, and that's what I wanted to point out. So when it apparently looks like it stopped in the middle of nowhere. So you see how we get this move up to here, and then notice how this stops right here? Well, look over here on the, look right here on the left. That's a CP right there. So it literally stopped just one tick in front of the CP right there. And then where did it pull back to? Right here, I think to the tick, actually. Yeah, it pulled back to the tick right here. So then if we go forward, then what happens? We get this move up here. Break above that CP that's right here, right? And then what is, this looks like it apparently pulls back to nowhere, but what is that? That's the CP right there. So it's holding that CP, holding that CP, still holding that CP, and then probes the CP right there and ends up moving back up above it. So if right here, if you bought off the CP, which I mean, it was really range bound, and maybe you said, okay, this isn't working, and so as it comes back up, you could buy it again as it comes back up over here. And then what do we get? We get a move above there, or this gets up above here, buy it off of this right there, and buy it right there. Okay? And then we were looking for, so you see this move up to here. We're looking for higher up here, up to 71. And what do we see? We see we end up getting a pullback here in the morning. Where's the pullback to? Notice where this happens. Off 43.75. Pretty nice move here. Like this by itself is about 9 points right there. So 50 plus points. I have lost track. And then we get this pullback, a little bit of pullback here. It comes back. We end up holding right here, getting a big move up here. And eventually, oh yeah, so here we go. So there's the initial, we bought this initially in the live trade signals, and then it came back and ended up coming a bit lower. And where did it come lower to? The CP. And you can see it probed it real nice and then came back above it and held it 2 candles right there. Really easy entry to get into if you're sitting there and trading that in real time. So let's keep on looking. What ends up happening comes back to here. So these are the ones that can be a little tricky, where it comes back to right here, which is 30 3/4, and that's a point off of this price. Those are the ones for me that are a little bit trickier. So what I'll do is I'll wait for it to get back above an area where I want to buy it, and then I'll hop in there. So like once it trades back up above here, I look for it to just kind of stall out a little and then be able to hop in there. And, you know, great one. Comes above here, comes right back to it, and then moves right up to here. So then you're short. You could short that if you want, but you want to be long over here for a move up into here. And there you go. So even if you, so if you bought, and then if you went short, which I don't know why you would, because you just went short there, so I don't know how many times you're going to do that, but then it comes up and it comes back down here. Where does it come to? It probes through this, and where is that? Basically down to the CP, right? So then move up here, and I just want to give you kind of the, we look right here. You can see what ends up happening. Pulls back, big move up above there, pulls back, and then if we look in, I mean, opportunity to buy, opportunity to buy, opportunity to buy. There's just so much opportunity here. And then finally in Globex, we did get some selling, and look where the selling happened to come down to the tick, our price right here. So that is personally how I trade these markets when I'm trading directionally. And not sure how my connection is, if I have a good connection, but I'm getting an error message from YouTube. So hopefully once I end the recording and it buffers everything out, it turns out to be great. Otherwise, we probably will end up doing a training on this and go into it more in detail. So anyway, I just wanted to recap a little bit of that after seeing how things played out this morning. And hopefully that's helpful for you. If you want to learn more about what we do, you can go to www.daytradelikeapro.com. If you have not registered for the course that I'm going to be leading for the next 6 months, then go get yourself registered for that. And I will see you in the course, and I'll see you in the next video.